Hey guys, Ron from FunctionBuilt-Aquatics. And I'm going to show you a useful tip that I use for when I'm doing water changes on nano fish and fry fish. Beta fry are very sensitive to water changes and drastic pH temperature changes, but yet I still have to do water changes on our fry tanks since we feed them so heavily. I don't do as many of them a week as I do on my other tanks, but I do them once a week nonetheless. This tank is my Sumatran peat swamp setup, and the Sundadaniel axelrodi are actually way larger than what beta fry are, but these guys are actually small enough to be able to get stuck or sucked into any type of large diameter hose, bigger, let's say, bigger than airline size. Now what I typically will do is a 1 gallon water change on this particular tank that holds about 8 gallons of water, about 6 to 8 gallons of water. And how I will do that is I actually use a filter bag, a micron filter bag, that I put directly over the inlet portion of the airline tubing that I'm using to suck the water out of the tank. Now these tanks actually sit considerably higher than the 1 gallon jug that I'm actually measuring my water change with. So once you start the siphon, you can use the airline valve right there to adjust the amount of flow, how quickly you want it to come out. Now I haven't come out full blast, since the micron filter bag will protect any of the nano fish from getting sucked into the airline. I also have about 6 beta chanoid fry in this tank growing out, and those guys would be extremely susceptible to being sucked into the airline hose and getting damaged. They would actually go into the 1 gallon jug and probably would die. So what I'll do is pull exactly 1 gallon of water out of the main system into this clear plastic water jug, and I'm going to show you how I return the water into the system. Returning the water into a nano tank with small fish or a tank with fry is absolutely imperative that you do it slowly. And how I do it is the same method. I'll use a 1 gallon jug that'll be elevated somewhat higher than the tank that the water's going into, and I'll start the siphon coming from the jug back into the tank. Now I don't have to actually preheat the 1 gallon of water I'm putting back in this tank, because it's going to go in at such a slow rate that it barely moves the temperature and the pH, but I'm physically still able to remove 1 gallon of water, and it usually takes about anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes or so. I'm sorry, 8 to 10 minutes it usually takes to slowly put the water back. That is the portion of the water change that is critical. Putting the water back into your fry tank, whether you're raising beta fry or cichlid fry, you do not want to change their environment too fast. You can kill fry by doing too big of a water change too fast. So what I do is I take my time in removing 1 gallon of water out. Now I'll sit here and I'll watch what's going on. I'll feed my fish. I'll keep an eye on the jug and make sure it doesn't fill too fast. But it'll take about 12 minutes to actually take the water out of the tank and fill up the jug, because the tank is not that much higher. If this tank was probably 3 foot taller, then the jug would come out a lot faster. But since the jug going in is a little higher, I'll adjust the flow coming out of the jug going back into the main system, and I'll basically give it an influx of water, of fresh 1 gallon water change without damaging or killing the fry. Simple, easy method. Now, when you drain the tank, it's important that you hang around so you don't overfill the 1 gallon jug. But when you go to refill it, you can walk away and do whatever you want to do, because it's not going to overflow the tank, and it's going to stop when the water in the jug runs out. So you don't have to sit here and watch the water going into it from the jug. You can actually go ahead and do your other things. Or in my instance, I went to the gym for an hour, came back, and the water change on my beta Hendra tank, which has about 80 to 100 fry in, was done. By the time I got back, the jug was empty, and I was able to fill it up with fresh water for the next water change. Hope this tip helps. Take your time and do water changes for your fry tanks. You can do water changes on your fry tanks. You just can't go in and blast them with fresh water. You got to give it a slow, gradual change. Thanks, guys. FunctionBuilt-Aquatics. Hope this helps. See you.
Bye.